Chapter 11 Lancelot of the Lake. The ice blue light flashed beside Lancelot. It was a spell, could only be a spell. As he drove his lance towards the beast, he prayed it would penetrate its granite hard hide. A clash, and a release of tension. His weapon had met its target and the griffin fell with a loud thud to the forest floor. I could only have done that with the help of someone in possession of. Lancelot broke off and looked at the young boy who had accompanied him. I won't tell. Merlin's face flooded with relief and he helped Lancelot recover his weapon from the body of the griffin. But I will, Merlin thought. You deserve to know that you missed seeing your brother, sister, by the matter of a week. 88,888,888. I demand you restore Lancelot's knighthood. Father Arthur, now on a path he saw as righteous, was standing up to his father. Lancelot had not killed the animal that had been terrorizing Camelot. It had been Merlin. But the falsehood was convenient for everybody. Except, it was not for Lancelot. Granted, he would accept the deed, but would not accept the knighthood, and he told this to Arthur and to Arthur, standing before the king of Camelot to declare that he was leaving. Because of the conflict I have caused between you both, I would not be upholding support for Camelot if my position caused division between its king and its crown prince. He stepped back and bowed to Arthur. One day I hope to return and prove myself a worthy knight of Camelot. But leaving was not a sorrowful event for Lancelot. He knew he would be back, but not before he had travelled east. It had been Merlin who had come to him the night before. They had discussed how to disguise the killing of the griffin and agreed on a plan. He would be pleased. Aled, Merlin finished, as he was about to leave the guardroom, that you came after all. Aled, a broken bar. Lancelot, relaxed as he had been, stood up, and strode to Merlin. The gate clattered on its hinge as he pushed it open. Where have you heard that name, a broken bar? When Merlin frowned but said nothing, Lancelot put a hand on his forearm. She has been to Camelot, a broken bar. She lives. She lives, Merlin told him. She left your village just after you did, she told me. And has been looking for me since, a broken bar. Well, Lancelot looked back into the blackness of the guardroom, as he murmured aloud, I should never have left her alone, a broken bar, not with what she was told, a broken bar. She is part says a broken bar. Merlin smiled as Lancelot turned his face to him, astounded at the young boy's knowledge. Then she must have trusted you, Merlin, for she is a forthright, determined persona, broken bar, which I am sure you discovered. Merlin nodded in agreement, and told Lancelot of what he knew of Eluned's time in Camelot. She went back, Merlin told Lancelot, when he asked what Eluned had done, ultimately saving his life. She seemed determined that Mercia was where she wanted to be. Eluned, Lancelot murmured, then closed his eyes and stood still, as if in prayer. Eluned, a broken bar? Merlin repeated. That's her real name, he thought to himself. A Briton name. A beautiful Briton name. It was her friend, Matthew, who called her Aled, because he couldn't pronounce her name properly when they were young. Lancelot added, as he thought, too, of Eluned. Merlin looked at the would-be knight of Camelot. She told me of Matthew, that he had the gift, like you. Lancelot nodded. Thank you, Merlin. You have made it easier for what I must do on the morrow. Then suddenly, he broke out into a grin which Merlin could see in the waxing moon's light. She lived. She did not die in the village when the Saxon came. Then his voice took on a tone of seriousness. But it is to the say she has gone. I have broken my word to her, Merlin cautioned, moving towards Lancelot. She asked me not to tell you if I saw you that she was with the say. She said she thought you would be ashamed of her. Well, I am not. Lancelot told him. It was always her burden to bear, half Briton, half say, ever since she was discovered. And he told Merlin that she had been washed down the Hayfron in a willow basket, and his parents had adopted her. I will find her, and keep her with me at Joyous-Gard. The castle that Lancelot had told Merlin of, that existed in his dreams, land of his own on which he would one day build, on a hill, by a lake, when he had enough wealth. So you're leaving a broken bar, to find Aled? Yes, Lancelot told him, and took Merlin by the hand. Thank you for being a good person, Merlin. You did not know you were helping my sister by concealing her identity, But you did it anyway. Thank you, my friend. 88,888,888. Lancelot was watched by many people as he left on horseback from the castle of Camelot. The window nearest the drawbridge was that of Morgana, who was watching, not the man who had saved them all from the terror of the griffin but her maid. Adoration, affection, deepening emotional attachment streamed from Gwen like apple blossom on a mellow spring day, pure happiness and the lightness of life that went with it. How she, Morgana, hoped that one day she would love like that. From a place a light further back, Gaius stepped away from the window, and looked at the mess of glassware and medicinal equipment that needed to be organized. When you have quite finished, Merlin, he snapped, as his apprentice lingered by the window. Illumined, Merlin murmured, as he watched the bee-horsed Lancelot disappear over the fold of a hill. What? Demanded Gaius, feeling his age that morning, and more than a little irritated that Merlin was so distracted. Nothing, Merlin replied, turning and triggering the washing up. Nothing at all.